So this is the duplicate that doesn't have the engraving on the back. So that is what you get. You get somebody like me who will unabashedly say the way it is. I eventually joined Rotary quite a number of years ago when I started becoming involved with the work of FIDA. And I did so for two reasons. One reason is that we had quite a number of Rotary clubs support the work that we do at that time. And the second reason is that I am exceedingly drawn to this motto of service above self. So I want to speak today, or tell you today, what that means for us as an organization. How do we incorporate this idea of service above self? What does it look like for who we are? My father was a believer that true development must be in the hands of the people. That if it is not envisioned by the people, owned by the people, and managed by the people, it will fail. And he saw that the vehicle for that to happen was the cooperative business model. It was an experience his family had as early immigrants to Western Canada, that the cooperative model was a vehicle for many Russian immigrant Mennonites to become successful. So I'm going to tell you, I think I have 4 or 5 things. What makes what we do different? There are lots and lots of organizations. In fact, Haiti is known to be the Republic of NGOs, which is the acronym for non-government organizations. There are reported to be upwards to 10,000 of various levels of non-government organizations, from that one-person mission operation to large international organizations, in a country that has less than 12 million people and is about the size of Maryland. So that's not a very great statistic to have. So when my father was introduced to Haiti in the late 60s, I'm the oldest of 4, and he took me with him, and I was somebody who would go anywhere with my dad because you can be sure it was going to be innovative, exciting, and problem solving. And he believed that the hope for Haiti had to do with people who were going to have their hands in the soil, that a country that could not feed itself will always be poor. So what makes us different? Number one, we invest in men and women who are motivated to become invested shareholders in their own productive agricultural cooperative. Number two, that is not an easy thing, I will say. We can speak more about that later because I like to leave time for questions, is that we invest in what we call a participatory methodology. I'm going to retract just a bit to the cooperative model. Cooperative is a very loosely applied and very loosely understood in Haiti. So it's often viewed in terms of cooperation. If we all work together, we can achieve something. However, we use the business model as governed by the international principles of cooperative. So that's a very different set of rules and principles that we are one of exceedingly few organizations that apply that in the strictest sense as possible in Haiti. Number two, we apply what we call participatory methodology. We don't own that. We did not come up with it. We don't own it. Sometimes when I speak, I think people think, oh, we have a patent on this, and we don't. We are here to introduce how it is that we use it, why it works, why it is effective, and if you want to see it and learn from us, we are happy to share our knowledge. And I will say that often in Haiti, people get very proprietary about their knowledge or about their project or their organization. We are not. And it can be a little intimidating, I will say, when I call somebody up saying, I'm happy to share anything. If you don't know what you want to do, and I'll give you an example. People will come to me and they will assume, what mission am I with? I said, well, we're not really with the mission, we're in development, and we work in agriculture. And the response will be, agriculture is exactly what Haiti needs. And I'll say, what are you doing? And they say, we are here to build church benches or paint walls in an orphanage. And I will say, well, I believe you just told me agriculture is what Haiti needs. And they'll say, oh, well, we know nothing about agriculture. I said, not a problem, I can help you. And they walk away. So it is very difficult to do what is right in Haiti. It is much easier to do something that makes yourself feel good. Service above self means you're not doing what makes you feel good. You are doing what actually works. You are listening. Participatory methodology is a means of how is it that we actually hear what people are saying? How is it that we know? How do we gather that information? How do we engage them? And there are tools and various ways that you can do that kind of thing, and that is what we do. We are very strict adherents of that kind of methodology. And again, I am going to really reinforce, it's not so much what you do in Haiti, it is how you do it. And that is a very difficult question for a lot of organizations to answer when they're in Haiti. The third thing that I would say makes us different is we are no respecter of persons. A lot of organizations are either very gender specific, or they're denominational specific, or even that you must be a Christian, or you must attend this church, or you must be a woman, or you must be somebody in desperate need, or something along those lines. For us, the cooperative model, the first principle of cooperative is open and voluntary membership. So it's not exclusive to men or women. Yes, there are certain guidelines that we follow, that if you're going to be a cooperative member, you must be part of the community. You can't benefit from a cooperative and live 100 miles away. So that is very, very, very important to us. And it doesn't matter to us what beliefs you hold, but you must be motivated to become an invested shareholder in a business model. The other thing that makes us different, I would say, is an investment in agriculture. And although a lot of people talk about investing in agriculture, it is often, I call it the model, the benevolent plantation owner model. So it's where you have a mission, or you have somebody, who has come into Haiti, they buy up land, and everything is done on their property. And I cannot tell you how many times that we have been invited to sit with people who are beneficiaries of this model, and our question is, what do you have? Tell us what resources you have to help, to achieve the vision you have. And they will say, we have nothing. It's because the investment is made in that benevolent plantation owner model. Everything is done on their land, the buildings are built on their land, the schools are held on their land, the church is on their land, the training centers are on their land, everything is planted on their land, and the community that they claim to serve, to be the love in action, is not seeing the benefit in their hands. The final thing I will say that makes us different, we are probably, we are the only organization in Haiti that has the most comprehensive adult literacy program. When you work in rural areas, the illiteracy rate is upwards to 80 to 90%. And if I may say, I don't know if you know what the baseline is to be literate, but to be literate is basically to sign your name and recognize numbers. That is not literacy. And if you are introducing a business model, you are trying to invest in people's confidence and ability to view the world in a different way, you have to invest in a literacy program. We have an extensive 4-level adult literacy program written in Creole that addresses the issues of the community. So it's not just about learning and reading and writing. It's about how is it we solve problems? How is it that we understand what is right and what is not right? How do we understand how to better feed our children? How do we solve problems in our field? How do we solve problems in our family? How do I become a better mother? How do I become a better husband? How do I become a better citizen? How do I become a responsible leader in my community? And that's what makes us different. And in my view, those are the primary elements of service above self.
Very good.